Hi, welcome to Fox's Little Nuggets, where the rally chopper of the news meets the flat tyre of reality and leads to a long walk home to reason. Fair shares is the first story. Andy Burnham has decided that the wealthier, leafier parts of Britain need to take their fair share of asylum seekers. The Prime Minister says it cannot be right that poorer communities shoulder most of the burden and that the affluent areas must now play their part. Which sounds terribly equitable until you look at the places like Piddington in Oxfordshire, population 400. Plans to accommodate 1,250 single male asylum seekers are very unpopular. There's no way of dealing with the tsunami of seamen that will be coming that way. It isn't really sharing a burden, it's just sharing the misery. The problem you have, of course, is that the correct procedure is the one that Labour won't go for. Concentration camps. It's what Greece did, and that worked. But there we go. Let's get rid of the asylum seekers and not put them into the nice leafy parts, but not put them into the poorer parts either. Take them up to a field, surround them with wooden soldiers and keep them in there. It's up there with the we have a good idea lot, isn't it? Anyway, over to Cambridge. The investigation has grown. It's just got a little bit bigger. Jason Arday affair has now become considerably more serious for Cambridge University as itself. Deborah Prentice, who's the VC over there, Vice-Chancellor, has agreed to a complete independent investigation involving senior academics from both inside and outside Cambridge into not just the circumstances of Arday's appointment, but crucially the findings will feed into a broader review of Cambridge appointments for senior academics generally. Durham and Glasgow are separately investigating the circumstances around Arday's appointments. And so this has moved beyond what happened with Jason Arday to, oh God, what's happened to our university? This is supposed to be Cambridge. We are supposed to be the best. Well, Cambridge initially, of course, defended Arday. Now, even the Vice-Chancellor says, oops, we've done it again. We need to improve things. Otherwise, people will see that Cambridge has lost its gloss. Which it has. And of course, there's all those students looking for their money back. That's interesting. They say lessons will be learnt, but will they, though? Doesn't seem it. Supposedly, for academics and very intelligent people, they can be, well, a little dumb, a little naive. Oh, sweet summer child. Oh, because you wanted to tick a box and say, oh, look, we've got a black professor. Aren't we wonderful? As opposed to, we've got a good professor. Aren't we wonderful? Well, you paid your money, you take your chance. And they're certainly paying the price now. Reputations in the toilet. Oh, a cracking little story. We're going to talk about Miatta Fanbulla, someone who is even more lunatic and dogmatic and ideologically driven on net zero than her ex-boss, Miliband. She, of course, is the Energy Secretary and net zero guru. But apparently, Ed Miliband leaving the department did not mean the end of an ambitious net zero thinking. Oh, good Lord, no. It's gone one stage further. Reporting today has focused on the political advisors around Fanbulla, whose previous campaigning included arguments for moving Britain away from gas boilers and combustion engine cars, although she's got no option. Let's move everyone away from gas boilers. What are you going to do with all the gas? We've got billions and billions of pounds of gas infrastructure that needs to be maintained. Part of the cost of that is the cost that people pay with their gas bills. And it isn't just houses that use gas. Industry uses it. It's got to be maintained. And if you lose your customer base, how are you paying for it? Of course, she doesn't know because she, like her boss before her, is a fuckwit. But there we go. What's worse, though, is the combustion engine cars. She wants them gone by 2035. She's actually calling for them to go by 2030, which isn't going to happen. Britain getting rid of the internal combustion engine by 2030. Europe 2035. No, Europe have moved it back, or looking at moving it back to 2045. If you stop selling internal combustion cars in 2030, what's going to happen in this country is chaos. Jobs gone. Thousands upon thousands of jobs gone. Transport seized up. The whole system broken down. And also one rather large woman who must herself create a major carbon footprint with the amount of food she eats, is sitting there telling the rest of us, oh, you must give up, you must walk, which is actually, ironically, worse than the environment. Do you know that a horse is worse for the environment than a car? Yeah. Why do you think they got rid of horses and brought in the cars? Far more work. One car does the work of many hundreds of horses. Now, all those horses, of course, need feeding, and then they produce all the shit and all the farts. It's all greenhouse gases. So how do you propose moving vast, heavyweight materials if you can't do it with the internal combustion engine? No, she doesn't know either. Worse, though, as her demands for the developed world owing what she calls a colonial debt. So, to be clear, these are the advisor's previous positions, not suddenly announced, but she wants Britain to pay colonial debt. Well, I tell you what, let's do that. Let's say to anyone who wants paying, fine, but you've got to go back to Africa. Or wherever you came from. You've got to go back to whatever shitty country you come from. Sounds good. And then we ban anyone from anywhere from ever being a politician in this country unless they're 10 generations British. Anyway, this is the ideological warfare going on inside the party. They're absolute nutters, aren't they? She wants affordability. You can't have affordability and green. One or the other. You choose, Tubby. Anyway, perhaps she needs to educate herself a little bit more and diet. Anyway, tomorrow, of course, is the Clacton by-election. Clacton finally votes. They go there. Nigel Farage is making his last push to reclaim the seat. He's expected to win it, despite all the polling. Oh, Labour are doing well. Blah, blah, blah. They're not in Clacton. It will be overwhelmingly Farage's seat. The only real big question, I think, is will Binface save his deposit? There's a good chance. And to be honest, I kind of hope he does. Out of decency, I hope he does. But he can't lose. Farage can't lose. It's there. We do have an and finally. Just before I do, if you're people of Clacton, get out and vote. Whatever. If you're a reform and you're in the Clacton, vote. Don't let anyone win by not voting. Vote. Vote often. Vote 3 times if you have to. That's a humorous comment. I'm not telling people to go multi-vote. I could get a knock on the door again. Anyway, and finally, and I like this one, a diver has helped uncover the wreck of the Phoenix, which was an East India Company ship lost off the Isles of Scilly in 1680. So after years of archival research, effectively provided a centuries-old treasure map. Local diver and author Todd Stevens identified the wreck site, at least, in 2017, and he's gone down and his finds include gold jewellery and coins, and they've all been donated to the Isles of Scilly Museum. He hasn't kept them for himself. Nice guy. The Phoenix was returning from China carrying spices, silks and other valuable cargo when she was wrecked in terrible weather. 350 years later, they've found her. Isn't that fantastic? And they get all the treasures up there. I think the spice might be a bit crap, and certainly the silks will have gone. But the gold will last forever. Nice. No politicians, no outrage, no committee meetings, just one guy and his Aqualung, which incidentally was an absolutely brilliant album. If you know, you know. But there we go. Something rises from underneath. Something surges to the top. And it's not the Labour Party. 1680. Anyway, thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye.